This was a drawing that I photographed and posted up on the Facebook page recently. Just a question asking, how would you set this as a piece of mosaic? Now, first thing is, you never set a small mosaic. Whatever the size of the mosaic you do, you're always setting it as if it were one small part of a full floor. You work in the same way, whatever the size of the mosaic. Because you've got to remember that if you're doing something like a full floor, you have 8 to 10,000 tesserae in 1 square metre in 3 square feet. So that's a lot of tesserae to set down. You will end up switching off. You will be finding it's quite tedious work, but you have to work in a set way so you don't start making mistakes. So the way that you work on this should be exactly the same way as you work on a larger floor. So first thing, ask yourselves, what is the pattern? The pattern is, it's a black rectangle. That's it. Doesn't matter about the white. That's just infill. That's not important. So it's a black rectangle. Therefore, that is what you're going to set first. Let's have a look at a more complex piece. We know these are 4 heart shapes that are interwoven and facing outward. Now, if we're doing this mosaic, if we're making a copy of this, then you put your center points in, then you do your black lines. Because that just gives you the mosaic. Once the black lines, the center points down, and once the black lines are down, that's it. Pretty much your mosaic is finished. You're just filling in at the end. So same with here. You just do your black lines, then you fill in at the end. Now, you might think that it would be easier to make sure you have the right space to do the black line, then the black, and then your white, and then the black, and the black. The problem is you don't really learn as much as if you just did the black line yourself. You have to work in a way where you're trying to develop your eye so you can see how much room to leave without drawing out a pattern every time. Let's go back to this one. Set your center tesserae, set the black lines, then the infill. And as you can see on some of these strands, they go a little bit wider, then they go pinch in. They're a little bit pinched in there, a little bit wider there. That doesn't matter. You're using irregular shaped tesserae. Look at the originals and you'll actually see this as well. But to get it correct, rather than drawing out the pattern every time, you need to be able to judge the distance that you have to leave. So if I did this black line, then I did this black line, I would have to judge it to know how much room to leave. And you can see it's not exact. It doesn't need to be because you are still left with the pattern. So this mosaic is a black rectangle. You do the black lines, then you just fill in the white.